The topic of my today talk is cybersecurity issues with electric vehicles. So first I will brief you my approach for today's lecture. I will take some live demonstration attacks and practically demonstrate you on my machine in the ethical environment through the virtual machines. Okay. So various electrical vehicles, the threats to these electrical vehicles I have identified in the last 2 or 3 days when the Professor Sanjeev Singh sir assigned this task to me, and explore what are the electric vehicles and the charging stations are there, and the driver just visited here, plug the cables, and then it connect to their particular powers, the grids, and then the battery will be recharged, and then he has to authenticate, and then bill will be generated, and he paid money. So as suggested, IoT devices are involved, the networkings are involved, and various protocols are also involved in the electrical vehicles. And it is also noted down or identified that various companies like Tesla, they are also suffer from the Tesla Motors also suffer from the various vulnerabilities, and these vulnerabilities I have identified, and I will relate these vulnerabilities to the cybersecurity domain and try to practically demonstrate these attacks. So this after the lunch, I want to make this lecture more interesting as much as possible. So my voice is clear, sir. I am properly audible.
Yes, sir, perfectly.
One more request from sir your side, because I will demonstrate some of the attack live. So I need some acknowledgement from your side, because I will switch my screen from one software to the other side.
Yes,
so cybersecurity is a practice we want to perform to defend our electronic devices. Now in this specific, in the COVID period, we are using various applications on mobile phones, network, internet, web services, daily routine work, and we need some mechanism that will secure our system from the various malicious attacks. Malicious attacks means service will not be available, some data may be manipulated, some data may be tampered, or it may possible that some information may be leaked, the particular company confidential information may be leaked. So as the technology increases, cybercrime in the web environment is also increases in the exponential manner. So cybercrime is any illegal activities with the use of computer, mobile, or any electronic devices. So the activity, the cybercrime, where the particular machine or device may be as used as a weapon, or sometimes it may possible that is the target by the hackers or some other person. We are also having one government project, our institute. I am the investigator of this ISEA project, Information Security Education and Awareness Project. And its main motive to educate and explore the various research avenues. So we shall discuss. So in this talk, I will cover what is cybersecurity, what are the two types of cybersecurity. Then I will take some electric vehicles, that is the, say, a cyber physical system where the devices are there. What are the weakness and vulnerabilities are there, and how these vulnerabilities are exploited, and what are the generally the prevention and the mechanism, and how do you control it. So that's the approach from my side. So I shall be discuss each one, the basic concept, then some of the particular attack scenario we shall discuss. And I will try to correlate this with your latest threat or vulnerabilities which are identified by the researcher in their various papers, especially in the context of electric vehicles. So cybersecurity, we all know, it is a practice of we want to defend our computer, server, mobile devices, electronic system, network, and data. So here I will more focuses onto this portion, your softwares, devices, and the data. Because in the electric vehicles, we have some charging stations, and charging stations which are connected to some smart grid. Some protocols are there, and still these protocols are not secured. The lack of information are there, the hardware codings are there, some data may be manipulated by some injectable parameters. So we shall discuss all this one by one. So cybersecurity is the convergence of people, process, and technology. So that once they come together, they want to protect our organization individually network from digital attacks. So this is cybersecurity means is protecting our system by applying various security mechanism. Very simple example is a firewall. Once you enter into any premises or any network area, like our security guard, they will check you and check your authenticity, authorities, and then two terminologies which are very commonly used in security. One is threat and another the attack. And so many times it was observed that these terms are interchangeable. But the only difference is that threat that also sometimes create the problem, maybe intentionally or unintentionally. But attack is an act or event that exploit vulnerabilities and that is intentionally damage the particular your assets. So generally when we talk about the cybersecurities are categorized into various types like critical infrastructure security, cyber securities. Then we have application security, IoT security, network security, information security. Here I will cover mostly the critical infrastructure security, and one is application security, because your electrical vehicle charging station also have the various protocols, various softwares, some billing softwares, then how much energies are consumed. So these data may be also manipulated. So I will also show you the evidences how these attacks are launched. So critical infrastructure security consists of cyber physical systems that modern society generally we rely on. To electricity grid, smart grids are there, water purification, traffic light, shopping center, hospital. So this is some simple integrations of system, cyber and physical. So this is the we have some computations are there. If say computation, integration of computation are mismapped, some time zones may be different, or it may possible your billing may be changed. Networking is not available, so devices are not able to connect, and some physical process accessing your data to gather the information from the various sources. And application security is the process where we develop, adding or testing security features within applications. So many times I'm giving you the general idea that Facebook bug, which automatically turn on your iPhone cameras. Microsoft patches that they suffer from zero-day vulnerabilities, means the vulnerabilities which are occurred, the security experts are not aware about that. So the particular OEM is not aware that particular weakness or vulnerabilities are there. So various vulnerabilities are there, and you believe these vulnerabilities are publicly available. So I will just show you what type of products are there. So information play a very vital role in the security. More information, more serious attack may be launched. More information, more effective investigation will take place. So vulnerabilities are a flaw or weakness in the product or software. If the particular attacker or hacker is able to know that particular which type of product you are using, then he may able to find out the vulnerabilities. And these vulnerabilities are publicly disclosed. So say example, I'm giving you the various vulnerabilities which are available. You will find out here CERT India. This is the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team. Sir, my screen is visible?
Yes, yes.
So you will find out here, today is the 29th, and some vulnerabilities are here. That your track TCP IP, which is the transmission control protocol for connecting your devices from the different locations, are suffer from this vulnerability. I will explain most of the vulnerabilities. Your browser is also suffer from the Mozilla, suffer from this product, because once we want to surf or connect, multiple vulnerabilities in these. So these, you believe these vulnerabilities are available or notified very latest on December 24th, December 13th, and in this date. And you say the Apple Safari is also suffer from the other vulnerabilities are there, cyber threats. So these vulnerabilities are available. So product names are there, their vulnerabilities or weakness are available. So the weakness and flaws through which the attack is possible. So these are called the. So first what the attacker does, attacker will find out the product that you are using in your charging station or various the places, service station. And then he find out if you are using the particular product through this TCP stack, then he may try to exploit this vulnerability. Okay, I am trying to show you one of the vulnerabilities practically. Okay, so the Internet of Vehicle based only on electric vehicle is a complex system. So in a vehicle, we have the mechanical equipments are there, humans are there. Now these days, the sensor is used for your key, self, doors, and also for your security purpose, drowsiness for the particular drivers, road infrastructure, automatic dissection. Then you have the electric charging stations are there. So all these entity communication. So communication is required, as Sanjeev sir informed us, that network play a very vital role. So several communication technologies are used, especially for the wireless. We use 802.11p, which is the modification of 802.11 wireless LAN. Zigbee is used, cellular networks are used. Now we are using our GPS devices also for tracking our vehicles or the buses. Okay. So one of the very interesting attack is called the GPS spoofing, which is spoofing is an attack in which a radio transmitter located near the target is used to interfere with a legitimate GPS signal. So attacker can put the jammer, so no data will be transmitted at the particular location, particular area, or sometimes their latitude and longitude, because there is one binding of latitude, longitude of your Google data with your IP addresses. So they may manipulate this. So GPS APIs are used for the latitude, longitude, and then just like a URL is mismapped with your IP address, similar your GPS is also mismapped with your IP address. So GPS spoofing is also used to refer to a smartphone application. So what it does is that can affect a phone location data. Okay. So the this type of attack are mobile phone or network which rely on the GPS data. Very simple example. What is spoofer does? Their real positions are there. They can spoof. They can change. So one way they can put the jamming. So means that no signals are there. They are not able to identify the particular location they are moving. Or sometime it may possible that the data are spoofed. So I read out in one paper, one particular the white paper, or in one blog that 3 years back, the particular Toyota or the Audi, their car shows, their location may be showing into different countries. So what the attacker does, they will manipulate their particular GPS system and their location are entirely changed. So most of the time, we have plug and charging systems. So what the driver goes there, he use it to plug it, and then the particular charging station is connected to the smart grid and recharge its battery. Then particular authentication will take place, authorization will take place, and based on this, the bill will be generated. So various type of attacks are also possible. They can modify the particular type of consumptions, the consumption in energy readings, or sometime the financial fraud may be there. So the electric grid is generally the critical infrastructure. So every device that's connected to the grid, electrical vehicles or charging station need to provide. So some potential attacks are there, and what it does, it will loss of user trust in charging infrastructure. So if massive amount of charging related information and billing data are being manipulated by the third party. So the concept is that here we are using protocols for communications. We using the backend database for your billing or other related informations like our smart meters. Okay, what it does, if these information are disclosed, these information are manipulated, these information are changed. Okay, then the particular type of attacks are possible. They manipulate these data. So here we need to require action from both sides. We have to ensure the confidentiality, data integrity, and authenticity. Three issues are there, the three pillars or three main goal of securities, and they are also applicable for your charging station. So the protocol which are used is called HTTP. HTTP is a hypertext transfer protocol, and which are not secured. So sessions are maintained through the cookies. So encrypt and decrypt message to make sure that no third party or malicious actor is able to eavesdrop on the communication. So we need to encrypt and decrypt. So when we use HTTPS, it uses encryption method. Means even if the particular eavesdropper is able to capture, that is called the packet sniffing. There is some softwares are available. Once they install, they will capture your all the packet. But if it is encrypted and keys are not available, then they are not able to know the meaning of particular data. Another one is we have to ensure that the one particular bill or the amount or the particular informations or the reading that we got will not be tempered, or they are accurately arrive at the sender from the receiver. So we have to maintain the data integrity. So there is a one algorithm is called a message digest or SHA-1 for the handling the one-way hashing function. If time permit, I will show you the hashing practical demonstration. And the last one, third one is that verify after the particular consumption, how we are verified to we are paying is the authorized one or from where we are taking the money. Okay, so verify the communication at the counterpart. So EV or charging station. So whether they are is a one who is actually the claiming to be. So this is the ensure your authenticity. Especially these are the issues which are the general issues that are also applicable with your plug and charges in the security. So DNS farming attack is onto the particular URL entries are there. When you connect, it may possible that you are visiting site A, but actually it is showing the site B. So you can clearly see from this one. This is visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is.
I have already demonstrated. So that is called the query string. This is a very important part of any URL. Query string is a way of passing the parameter through URL. So some information are passed when you move from this one. So this is the attack. Here you will see it is showing the website is Google, but actually the web page is displays is Yahoo. How it is possible? You can use a simple command which is called the ping command. Ping is a packet interchange gopher command. Here I will use ping www.yahoo.com. So once we reply the ping, it will give you 87.248.113.14 particular messages are there. Okay, and we will get this message, and echo send and echo reply message are sent. So we are able to know that IP address of Yahoo is 87.248.113.14. And similar, I have already demonstrated you. There is a one file in a C Windows System 32 driver etc host. Here you go there and put the google.co.in, and in front of this you can put. So this is a simple way, but we can also protect it from the different way. So this is a simple way of DNS farming. Then the application vulnerabilities. So applications that are involved in a computer is a weakness which allow attacker to reduce a system information. And one of the important concepts is that no language can prevent insecure coding. Although there are some features that could add or hinder a security conscious developer. So if you say we are using Java, we are safe, or we are using Oracle technology for the databases in a particular smart grid or say a charging station, we are safe. No. So every language has their vulnerabilities or weakness that may be exploited. Time to time, the new patches are arrive, they are plugged in. But still, because most of your electrical vehicles are using the firmware. Firmware means they are written into the BIOS. And if you will, the software vulnerabilities or application vulnerabilities are slightly different from your cyber infrastructure vulnerabilities. Because in the cyber infrastructure vulnerabilities, these firmware are like that. If new versions are arrived and new plugins are there, you apply this patch, and it may possibly your patch will not work. So your system will reset. It will not restart again. The whole system may be damaged. So I will just discuss these issues more detail. So once we talk about the software, everybody is very much interested to the functionality of the services and ignoring the risk associated with that. So there is a trade-off between the security and functionality. And so many times when nothing is happen, so security achievement is hard when nothing bad happens. So sometimes countermeasure can lead to new vulnerabilities. I am giving you a very simple example. Brute force attack, you have seen that CAPTCHA is used, And say example, a State Bank of India. State Bank of India enforce a policy that if somebody put the wrong password more than 3 times, then from particular IP address, this service will be disabled for 48 hours or 24 hours. In MNIT, 10 years back, what happened? If any of our user put the wrong login and password more than 3 times, the whole SBI facility will be disabled for the institute. So sometime we put the countermeasure, and that countermeasure also the vulnerabilities. So this is our denial of service attack. Means to handle the brute force attack, means people will not put so many wrong password and try to hack the system. We have forced the particular security policy that the end user is not allowed to put the more than 3 times. But what happened? They will put the wrong credential and system will not allowed, and for whole other member within the premises will be suffer because their IP are unique. So there are some security issues in electric vehicles. We shall discuss one by one. Internet of electrical vehicle is a vulnerabilities. So some type of denial of service attack. Denial of service attack means the services are not available. I am giving you a very simple example. The TCP/IP protocol is used. That is the call, and there is a command called ping. Ping is used to send a particular packet to this particular machines or particular stations. So I have already explained you. This is a ping command. But what happened? Its maximum size is 6465. In early days, if you will send a larger message of than 65465, the receiver is not able to accommodate. So that is called the ping of death attack. So many times it may also possible that your denial of service attacks may be exploited. Bombing means too much data are sent in. I am giving you a simple example. Suppose it is not related to your this electric vehicle. I am giving you general idea. Say one email is there, which is allotted to the faculty, and faculty asks their student to submit their assignments. And there is one letter is available, or security or policy of website is available, that what is the maximum quota that particular faculty is available. So say a malicious guy is able to read out that in this institute, a maximum quota of that particular MB is allowed to faculty. What he did, he will, before the submission, he will send too much bogus data and their email box will be full. So other people are not able to submit their assignment. So there are so many ways through which the particular denial of service are possible. Zip bombing are there, then Smurf attack, HTTP flooding attack, then one of the DNS that your website is redirected to some other phishing is there. So once you are typing a particular genuine address, it will be redirected to some other places. Another is called the false data injection. The false data injection which manipulate the data, and so many smart grids are affected with this false data injection that manipulate or modify the content. So security is a crucial factor for development or wide development of electric vehicle. So now these days we also have the many of charging station. Okay, they are using the protocol which is not the secure protocol. They are using the HTTP protocol. So which does not encrypt data or communication. So they may suffer from session hijacking attack. So I will show you the session hijacking attack. What is the session hijacking? Because HTTP is a stateless protocol. It does not know whether you are coming first time or second time. So it maintains a one session, like your Gmail session, shopping session. If this session is hijacked, then what happens? Any other person perform the session fixation and open your Gmail account. And if this session is hijacked, it may also possible that you are buying some item and the amount will be deducted or added to your other user account from other users account. So session is very important, and how the session is hijacked, I will demonstrate, because once I will demonstrate the session hijacking, we need to close the browser. So when the browser is closed, your session is destroyed. Like in IRCTC, your session is timeout session. When you close your IRCTC account, your session will be expired. You need to re-log in. But if I will demonstrate this session hijacking live now I have to close the browser. So once I close the browser, your Google Meet will also close and your class will disturb. So end of the class, I will demonstrate this session hijacking attack with my one recorded video. So that will not affect our normal class. Okay. So these are some issues which are related to one. Then some electrical vehicle issues, vulnerabilities are difficult. I have already told you to patch due to high tired nature of car supply chains. Firmware interoperability, because firmware are like BIOS. So firmware are the software which are written into your chip. And sometimes it may be possible now these days the Chinese chips are there, so their interoperability issues are available. Then their long update time is required, and it may sometimes possible that if what happen if plugin or patch that we need to update will be failed. So a vehicle may be left inoperable for a certain period because it is not look like that you can replace a software. You need to replace a component. So, and other is backdoor program. So protocol used to connecting between your electric charging unit were not designed with security in mind. So allow attacker to conduct a lateral movement. I'm not taking the much, if you are interested, I will just suggest you some of the papers. I'm more tactically demonstrating these attacks. So what happened? This is the simple attack vector. So like in your benchmark data in a security, what we did, we create one attack vector. So attack vectors is the particular path or what are the components that are involved. See example, we are here. So I have one vehicle, which is an electric vehicle, which has a charging cable. And here we have the charging stations. And these charging stations are providing some electricity and the charging or recharging of this. Then some attacker are there, and behind it we have one database there. So in a database, we have some data is there. Okay. And here the various operations are performed through which data are updated, data are retrieved, data are read. In a computer, we use one language called the SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. These are some small statements through which we are able to retrieve the information. So information are retrieved by using SQL statement. So latest, some of the particular computers or their backend databases which are used to store the information are hacked through this. So now this is one University of Hawaii West Otago. They have electrical vehicle charging station vulnerabilities. So electrical vehicle charging vulnerabilities. So you will go there and some vulnerabilities are there. So I will first show you. So electrical vehicles, general, these are some vulnerabilities which are the CV number, common vulnerability innovation numbers are there. So hard-coded credentials. Hard-coded credential, what the programmer, sometimes the sensitive information like your password information, your login information, your other valuable information are stored in their coding. And we have myths that once we retrieve the program, the only HTML pages are displayed, the code will not be available. So what the attacker does, he will put some specific way to launch the attack and gather the information. Other one is remote code execution. This is another vulnerabilities which are also. What is remote code execution? I'm giving you a simple example. Facebook was hacked, then your Twitter was hacked. What happened? Say example, 7 years back, Facebook is asking that upload your photograph. And what attacker does? He will not upload your photograph. He will upload any code or program. And Facebook has a vulnerability that at the time of uploading, they are not checking whether the end user is uploading the code or uploading the program. So say example, in electrical then vehicle, they are asking for some information. they are put the some remote code. And this remote code are installed in their machines. And later they fire some attack, some fire the particular tricky way, and this code is executed. Say example, one smart grid, one code is loaded, and in a smart grid, they remotely shut down the whole smart grid from the remote location. So remote code execution means the code which are through the vulnerabilities are loaded onto the server, which is responsible for the proper working or smooth working of various activities, and this code are executed from the remote location. And the Tesla motors are suffer from the SQL injection. We have already discussed that SQL is a structured query language, and the injections are injected to manipulate the data which are available into your database. So these are some vulnerabilities, 3 vulnerabilities that I will practically demonstrate to you. Not in the terms of vehicles, I will demonstrate with the general scenario. So these charging stations of your electrical vehicles are vulnerable and affected by this one. Okay. And this Tesla motor blind SQL injections. So this Tesla motor is suffer also. This is the one growing company which are also suffer from your blind SQL injection. So now we shall discuss the basic concept of injection. What is injection attack and how it will does. So code injection attack in a simple language. Say example, any website is asking for PNR number. Enter your PNR number. And what attacker does? Instead of entering the PNR number, he will enter some code, some program, some script. And that program, script or code may be executed on indianrailway.government.in and perform any task. That may be dangerous. So this type of attack for the false data injection, SQL injection, code injection attack is carried out by suspicious user by entering a vulnerable code into the input control of web form or address bar of web browser. So common type of web application vulnerabilities which may occur due to the improper handling of user input. So many times when the system is asking for some information, instead of supplying the information, what attacker does? He will try to inject some code onto this, and this code may be attack your system. Now I will demonstrate the concept of your SQL injection. So a SQL injection attack involves placing a SQL statement. So what is SQL statement? I will give you the basic idea. So I am using the WAMP server here. So under this project of ISA, we have developed one our cyber forensic lab, and the cyber forensic lab we have developed so many attacks scenarios in this. So we shall discuss one by one. So first we discuss the code injection attack. What is code injection attack? Sanjeev sir, my screen is visible?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So what I will do, I will put some code onto that, like script alert hello. Any website is asking for data. This is a false data injection or data injection attack. Here it is asking to enter your data. I am not entering the data. Website is asking enter your PNR number. I am not entering the PNR number. What I am doing here, this is indicate the starting of script. This indicate the ending of script because slash is here. I'm not taking this particular in the deep, but I am just displaying alert hello. Alert is like a message box. So first I have to check whether the website is vulnerable or not, whether this website is weak or this particular services that we are using is weak or not. So once we enter it, it is executed and saying hello. Means this website is vulnerable. This website is suffer from vulnerabilities. That is called the cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. And our electric vehicle charging station is also suffer from this type of vulnerability. Means it is accepting some code, and code may be vulnerable. More dangerous In the previous example, I have shown how the website is redirected to some other location. Very simple, I have used here document.location hack.php. Document.location, if you studied any programming language, is like a go-to statement. So what it does, it will move your website to hack.php. So website will be redirected. This is start of script. This is end of script. Here the document.locations information and website will be redirected to hack.php. This is the other type of vulnerabilities. So now the website will be moved to the hack.php. So if this type of code are executed, the website will be, or your services will be redirected to the some other location. Now I will move to this your concept where what is blind SQL injection and what is SQL injection. Okay, so first we discuss the SQL injection. What is SQL injection? SQL injection is a way of retrieving the information. Say example, I want to retrieve any information. So what I will do, I will write up an SQL statement. It is very simple. You can find out. For example, ID is 200 and we run here SELECT select star from table name. Table name may be employee, where employee number equal to ID. What it does, it will retrieve the 200 records. The 200 records are 200 record number is fetched and we will get the information. So that is the logic is there. I think it is clear. It is very simple one. So these type of small statement we use to retrieve the information. Billing information, other information. So privacy issues is there that a particular bill of recharging is not visible to the other one. So he put his particular credential and will get like login, password, and other information. That is also perform the attack onto this one. So very simple one. Here we put the SQL injection here. Here we put 200. And the values will be 200 will be fetched. So record number 200 is fetched. That is a normal scenario. Now what the attacker does, attacker will manipulate and instead of he will put the tricky string like ID equal to 17 or 1 equal to 1. ID equal to 17 or 1 equal to 1. So what happened? We know that 17 values is not available in the database, but 1 equal to 1 is true. And it is concatenated with OR condition. And we know that in the OR condition, if one condition is true, irrespective of other, that will make your whole statement true. This is simple Boolean rule. So what the attacker does, attacker will supply this tricky string. He knows that 17 is not there. 1 equal to 1 is always be true. It is connected with OR, so whole statement is true and entire record is fetched. So say example, he will put and here what he does, he will put 17 or 1 equal to 1. So here 17 is not there. This is true because 1 equal to 1 is always be true. It is concatenated with OR condition. And if one condition is true, that will make your whole statement true. So the internal information without the login and passwords, we are able to get. How they will do? They can put 17 or 1 equal to 1. Here, this is a tricky SQL. So in any special way, they can put it and although I am having only 5 records, so all records are fetched. More dangerous are there. They can use say login credential, login equal to India, password equal to Bhopal or 1 equal to 1. 1 equal to 1 is true. We don't know. We know that Bhopal is not the login, password is not the India, but still we are able to get it. Sir, it is okay, Sanjeev sir?
Yes, sir.
So this type of attacks are possible where the databases or some informations they have used, say some example where this particular the security response disclosure programs launched. So where they exploit because the Drupal is the script is there. Drupal is the particular data which are used. So this is this example of SQL injection where data are manipulated. Okay. So this is, I have already demonstrated, we give some values, normal scenario there. So why this attack is possible? Because here we are getting the information from this particular form and it is not sanitizing here. This code is vulnerable. This is not the safe code, it is a vulnerable code. So the other solution is that here what they do, they can use these two functions. If these two functions are using by the programmer, they will remove unnecessary strings and attack is not possible. So this is the one solutions they can use it. So another type of blind SQL injection where some queries are sent and these queries are manipulated and we are able to find out. Say they want to know which type of database are using by the Tesla Motors, which type of product or brand they are using. So each product has their own symptom. Each one has their own way of handling the data. And by the queries, if queries are succeed, then they are able to know that what type of. So in the blind, the direct data are not manipulated, but the queries are there. So the queries will be sent it. And this one, say example, they can use the versions. So they can use whether they are using Oracle database, Postgres database, or MySQL. I'm giving you one example. Say example, each one has a different one. We know that if we will supply two string A equal to A, that is called the concatenation. A string, and when we concatenate, that becomes the A. So if you want to perform the concatenation of these two strings, various operators are used. So say example, if you will put the queries here, in MySQL, if you supply in a query A colon plus A colon, if no error is generated, then it means the database is MS SQL. If you supply A pipeline A operator, that means the particular database is Oracle. Once they are able to know, that is called the footprinting. Footprinting is a way of gathering the information about the target machine. So they want to know what type of operating system are using the particular system onto the target, what type of databases they are using. So this type of information they are used. That difference I have already. So one of the solution, they can use the views or scan the queries. Another type of attack is cross-site scripting attack. I have already explained you. Here the attack is possible, the non-reflected or persistence attack, where the scripts are there. The script may be attacked, executed like hello, I have already demonstrated to you. Or you can put into some guest book that will be loaded into your system and later it will be retrieved. So one of the solution, you can perform a particular parser or the language scripter and embed it into your browser and use it. Okay. Third type of attack, which is called the shell injection attack. That is attack on operating system or other ones there. Okay. Remote code executions. Remote code execution attacks is possible. So now we shall discuss the two attacks that I will demonstrate to you as suggested in the one of the electrical vehicle charging. Both attack I will demonstrate. I have already demonstrated you this SQL injection attack on charging station. Now we shall discuss the remote code execution and hard code connection. So first we shall discuss what is remote code execution. I will demonstrate practically. This is simple as say. Here you will find out how the remote code is executed. I will just check you. You will find out in this folder only one subfolder is your session. Now I will launch an attack in such a way that will create a multiple folder onto this system. So because I am having the limited power, so I will create a 50 folders from the remote location. So what I will do, I will use one simple a open source software here, DBWA. That is the, especially for hacking purpose, you can use it for application hacking. Here I put the security level is low. Means attack is possible, program is vulnerable. First I set it. And at the time of uploading, it is saying, choose your image to upload. But what I will do, I will put the program. So the program I have written, I will go there and I will upload this program. So this program will be uploaded onto your machine. So you will find out, I will go there and I will upload this attack2 program. This program is loaded. And in this way, the Facebook was also hacked. So many times they are asking, upload your photograph, upload your Aadhaar card, upload your identity card. And at the time of checking, they are not scrutinizing whether the end user is uploading actually their data or a particular code. So what is this code is here? This code is look like that. What I did here, I have written the code. I will show you. This is the start of PHP. This is the end of PHP. And I will write a one loop and call this make directory function 50 times. If I will put here 5000, then it will be create a 5000 folder onto the target machine. So you will see here, we have only one folder. Now I will call this program or call this file. So what I will do, I will go there and try to execute. So in the execution, so many times you have seen that particular blue is there. So when blue is typing, like UG admission, when the UG admission will go there, PG admission, when PG admission is going on. When you submit, you will find out some values are passing from here. That is the query string. So query string is a way of passing the parameter through URI. So what the attacker does, he will call their function of the program that they have uploaded. So I will call this program here, attack. So what I did first, I wrote a one program in which I run the loop for 50 times and call the make directory function. And through the uploading, any uploading features I have uploaded onto the server. Now I am putting the directory listing path from here through query string and calling this program. This program is attack, I am calling from here. So the remote location, because this browser we assume, although both client and server are my laptop, it is assumed that we are calling from that particular portion. So once I call it, you will see that that is attack2. Name is attack2. And this program is executed. You will find out various folders are created. 50 folders are created. Previously we have only one folders are there. So that is the example of remote code execution. Remote code execution, the attacker develop one small program with the vulnerabilities, upload onto the program and call it. That is the simple remote code execution. So remote code execution is possible through which vulnerabilities are accessed and folders are created. So this is the various folders are created onto that location. So this vulnerabilities are there. First, we are allowing the execution of a OSL. Second, at the time of uploading, we are not checking whether he is uploading a particular certificate, program or image or a code. A third one, we are allowing to call this. The third vulnerabilities that are mentioned in this we shall discuss is called hard code credential. Hard coded password, also often referred to as the embedded credential or plain text password or other secret in secure source code. So source code contains some important information like your key information, your password information, your login information. These information are stored. Say example, this is a myth that the source code is not available. So example, in a server, we have one file, password protect. And what the programmer does, he knows that code is not visible, so he had stored the login and password information into their array. So this array is stored to login and their password information. So what the ethical hacker does, he will put it here and call this function. And here there is a source. Source is a debugging function of a PHP. He will perform the hardcore program and call this program for debugging, and source code is available. So this source code is displayed onto the browser, and then you are able to, sorry, I will check the name of file, passprotect.php. So this passprotect is file name which are available, which contain the some source code information, password information, and this file is visible. So this is the hardcore attack, and the code is available here. So these three vulnerabilities which are mentioned here, hardcore vulnerabilities, credential, remote code execution, and SQL injections, they are available in your electrical vehicle charging station. Vulnerabilities are possible. So I have demonstrated these three vulnerabilities. So sometimes if there is some special function, if the programmer is use escape shell command, then this code will not execute it, only display onto the target machines. So these are some vulnerabilities are there, and there is one project, Open Web Application Security Project. If somebody is especially want to work in the field of this particular application vulnerabilities, so they have ranked the top 10 vulnerabilities. In 2007, they released the top 10 vulnerabilities onto the various applications. That time SQL injection was the top. The later they have developed some others. So now we shall discuss some of the hacking tricks. Before this, I will discuss demonstrate you with my one video, the session hijacking attack. Because a lot of time you have seen that our session is expired, session is hijacked. Especially session hijack is also possible when the sessions are created during your transmissions of your readings of meters or values or some billing information. Sanjeev sir, ठीक चल रहा है?
जी sir.
So now, with your permission, I will play my video that will give you the basic concept of session hijacking, how the sessions are hijacked when the particular applications are communicated with one another. So we shall first discuss what is session and then hijacking, because it is not possible if I will close the browser, your session will expire, and also your software will also be closed for which we are using for conducting this class. So I am just showing you the practical demonstrations with one of the videos. So we have developed so many videos, lectures also. Or to make the transaction with end user. Sir, audio and video is properly. Video is visible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Audio भी देख लेंगे सर एक बार, कई बार आता नहीं है. Keys are used or the session are used between the client and server. And this आ रहा है सर?
हाँ सर, ऑडियो तो आ रहा है.
Yes, sir.
और वीडियो भी आ रहा है.
Play a very vital role. Sometimes this session may be hijacked and the personal information may be stealed, or the attacker is able to take the credential or enter it from the different machines. There is two types of session: persistent session, which is available even you close a browser, and non-persistent session, when you close the browser, session will terminate it. So we shall discuss each one. So first, how the session are established, we shall discuss that. And in this first example, we are here, and I'm using a web server in which MySQL is a backend and front end we are using PHP. So here, very simple example, I have created one session and the session values are show it's 1. So it is indicated the values are set at the 1. When I will refresh this, it becomes 2. And when I again refresh, it will become 3, 4, 5 and so on. So in this way the values are incremented each time session are used. I will show you program how this is executed. So you will find out here very simple example which is written in PHP, this code. It indicates here we have the starting of PHP. Here the session are start. If session is not established, is not set, then its value will be 1. And if it is set, its value will be incremented by 1 by 1. So in this way, the session's values are incremented and the session values are remain in all other pages during the browser navigation. So now this value is 5. Here you will see, we increment this value, that will become 6, 7. You just find out its values are 7. And when we open another tab, here the values are 7. When we open another tab and paste, that value will be 8. So once we move from one tab to other tab, it will retain its old value and increment it. So when we refresh it, it will become 9. Well, and when we back to the previous tab, here, it will gain 13. So that means the session values are shared among the various tabs which are open in the browser. When this values is now set, so some values we have fetched from this tab and from this tab. So values are shared. If I will switch to this tab, it will become the 17. So when I move to this session, it will become the value. So 16 is there. When I cross it, it will become 17. So that is the basic concept. The sessions values are. When we close the browser, I have closed the browser here. Okay, and then again when we open a browser again here, and we will put the values by calling this URL, its value will be 1. So when the browser is closed, this value is set to be 1. That is the basic concept of session. So the session are established and remain. This variable may be shared among the various tabs in the browsers. When you close the browser, sessions are also closed and reset its value to the 1. That is the basic concept. Now we shall discuss the two basic concepts, how the session will take place. So I will show you how the cookies are write into the server to the client machine and how the cookies are treated. So first we see the program that is used for the. So we will see the program here, and in this program, this is the program for writing the cookies values. So this is a simple PHP program which indicate the starting of PHP, it indicates the ending of PHP. Here we are using username, and Amit is a value that will be stored into this username. And that cookies are persistence, means that are available with the time plus 4800 seconds. And if we will remove it, that is called the non-persistence. So now I'm using and calling this function that name is wcook, writing cookies values and set its value, and you will find out. So once we go there and set its value, so this is the program here. Now I click onto it and the cookies are returned to the browsers. So another program we will check is called the reading of cookies. So program name is rbook. Cookies values. So now we will see its code. Its code is also very simple. We all know Here you can find it indicate the starting of PHP. It indicates the ending of PHP. Here we are using echo read cookies.pr. That is the message. And here we are displaying the cookies name, user, which is Amit. So we welcome. The cookies are used for the personalization, which store the values into your browsers. And when you call it, so now I will call this cookies by using the program is rcookies. And this way. Now these cookies are read and we will get the values. Welcome back, Amit. So in this way we are able to get the values is Amit. So this is a simple way through which we are reading the cookies and we are writing the cookies. Okay. Now we will establish the session. The session are established when we moving from one location to the other location. Say example, that is called the PHP session. So we are here. I will call the function localhost. We are here. We are at the page P1 here. And when we move to the page P2, the session is established. We will go there and we close the browsers. Just a minute. We take this. And we close the browsers. And now I will use I will open a browser again. So you will find out here, I will call this function P1 and then when we move, some values are transferred. So that values are here. So this is the query string. Query string is a way of passing the parameter. So this is our server name, this is our folder, this is our folder. And here this is name of program and this is the query string. So query string is a passing the parameter through URL. What happening here? Some values are transmitting. So these values are very important. So every time you will find out some values are transmitting from this one. So this, if this attacker is copy this session, that is called the session hijacking. And in the other URL, he may paste it, that is called the session fixation. Then it may be possible that your session may be hijacked and fixed at the other location. This is a simple way you can get it here. And now we will open another tab. And this is the one other program that is very dangerous. That is local host. And we have already explained you that called the document.location. So document.locations, now we will see its code. So you will find out here. So what I'm doing, I'm just displaying its session, not, so I'm capturing this session and displaying through the alert. This command we have already discussed so many times with the plus document.cookies that will capture all the cookies which are set, their values, all the session values. So here you can capture the values, store into the array, mail to your friends, or you can put into the array and later it may use. We are just displaying that cookies. So here we are hijacking this session and displaying to you. That indicate that session is hijacked. So here we have find out that one session is this one, which is activate now, and other sessions is which is written username equal to cookies. So now what we have to do, I will go there and call this function, or the attacker will use it and give you the particular information. So I will put this source session which contain document. When I click it, you will find out it will indicate, and both the sessions are hijacked. So first is through the username equal to cookies, and second is equal to PHP session ID is equal to this one. So these sessions are highlighted. So through the document.cookies, when I use script alert document.cookies, this session which are scripted between the client and server.
So in this way, session, I'm audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in this way, we are able to hijack the session. So, so many times our teenagers, they use several tabs are there, and they are involved in some financial transactions, okay? And what happens, suddenly they get one pop-up in which some interesting information, they click it, their session may be hijacked. So one of the security measures that never click onto the particular link or tab, especially when you are involving in doing some very sensitive transactions or information or banking that time. So this way, this is the session hijacking. Session hijacking is very dangerous. Even still, according to the security focus report, 79% of websites are still vulnerable to this type of attack, because it required the education that people are aware that never click onto the link, suspicious link, especially when your other activities or other services are on. Now we shall discuss some more concept. Okay. So this concept is called hacking. So I also got one paper, especially in the security field. The paper is called Engineering Reveals Cybersecurity Vulnerabilities by Hacking Electric Vehicle Charging. So now we discuss the various concept of particular what is the hacking, and this is the last topic that I shall discuss with you, that the basic concept of hacking. So computer hacking or the device hacking or mobile hacking, when someone modify your computer hardware or software in such a way that alter the creator original intent. Say example, the creator original intent is to use your services, and somebody is illegally capturing your voice, capturing your recording, doing the recording and also taking this. So say example, their intent may be changed of the hardware and the software. So that particular, whether their intent, their particular intent is good or bad, or what the original intent. So that depend on particular how they are using. Say example, hiding the information. Hiding the information is legal or illegal. That depends on the use. Say example, somebody hide their IP or hide their email and threatening you. That is illegal in the internet domain. In the internet domain, somebody, say example, a mother want to discuss the mental problem of her child and she don't want to disclose her identity. It is illegal. So people who hack the computer are known as the hackers. So in the modern sense, computer hacking means the unauthorized access to a computer or the network resources. Not only physically accesses, sometimes logically accessing. Physical accessing, they are enter into our premises and use our lab facilities. Illegal accessing, that our sub-journals are specially subscribed for MNIT and they are accessed through the MNIT IP address. Somebody logically access, manipulate, IP spoof and avail the services. That is the logical accessing of the services. So two type of hackings are there, which are very popular: hardware hacking and the software hacking. Hardware hacking means some software, particular devices are there. So we want to make them as a wireless, so their activities may be monitored from the remote location, or surveillance can be performed. Or display may be changed, their normal working may be changed. Sometime now these days, we can use our mobile to trigger the other devices. Now we shall use our mobile as a remote. Or so many times the tuners are there. In the old days, we have to tune our channel and they hack the TV in such a way that only it is showing the 113 channel for sports, no news channel or no serial channels are there. So this is a simple example of hardware. Then now these days, hardware keyloggers are there. So what the keyloggers are used? The keyloggers are the hardware software program that record your activities. Activities means what you are typing, what stroke you are using, Now these modern keylogger, they are not only recording your keystrokes, but they also stored your application, your activity, your camera, your screens. And the now latest, especially from the China, the devices which are imported, they have the BIOS level firmware. Means your information, what you are doing, is stored into the BIOS, and later they will detach this BIO and gather the information. So chip level securities are also there. Chip are embedded. Then use of keylogger is again a two way. Say example, you as a professor want to know what your students are doing in their laboratories, whether they are developing a games or surfing the net, you put the keyloggers. Or your employer want to know what their employee are doing, it is illegal. But say example, if somebody is put the keyloggers and record that what the tender information you are typing, your credential information for your e-banking, your credit card detail, that is called the illegal. So now these days, keyloggers are very cheap. The softwares are there. You need to create a keylogger that will capture your activities. Your keystrokes are there. In the markets, keyloggers are available. Simple dongles are available. That has hardly cost 100 200 rupees. So what they do, they will put into the packet side and interconnected your USB connection with your this keylogger devices. So all the activities are recorded. So in the evening, you detached it and copied it, the data, what the user are typing, which services they are using, and how they are accessing. So they are also called the key grabber are also there. The information are recorded. Another type of hardware hacking, especially the in the cabling, are patching the IOs are there. So most consumer products have at least one button for indicator. And with the access to the button pad, they can attach your own button and relay a transistor circuit to control it. So connect your wireless devices directly to the button pad. So this information they open it and use it. Replacing a component. So this is another way of hacking the device, especially the circuit blending, where the user want the device to sound differently. So replacing bike light, bike bulbs, especially in the electric vehicle, some of the component they can replace and put it in their own ways, so they can get the informations. Another one is the hacking for the, especially for the hardware devices, because we know that your electric vehicle is also using some circuits. So private data from the vehicle that can be used for simple logic analyzer. So interesting chip or test point onto the circuit board, connect to the logical analyzer, and then logical analyzer will record your signal which are occurring on the lines it is sniffing. So sniffing is possible. Then the smart Bluetooth locks and IoT devices are also used in the electrical vehicle. So Bluetooth low energy, also known as Bluetooth smart or devices, is leading protocol design and for the connecting your devices. So more and more embedded in their daily lives. So Bluetooth are easily hacked. The reason is that because we are having the particular very light weighted encryptions, because we do not have the much energy power and not much bandwidth. Their memory space is also very less. So sometime it may possible that their information may be hijacked or hacked through this one. Okay. So hack Bluetooth, hacking lock or IoT devices are also hacked by the sniffers are there. Now when we compare, the hardware hacking is much easier as the software hacking. So when you buy a piece of hardware like a toaster, their manuals are available, repair manuals are available for many pieces of equipment. Now these days we have the YouTube videos are there, through which you are able to know what is inside in the hardware, and then you can manipulate or change it or use it. But when you buy software, especially the commercial software, we are not talking about the open source software. Its behavior is fixed, which original programmer intended, and we are stuck to the executor file only. So source code is not available to us. Only exemptions are there, particular source code, open source softwares are there. So hackers are break into our computer system, our devices, our circuits, our IO connections, and exploit the vulnerabilities through the poor configuration, disable some type of security controls, poor chosen default passwords. Okay. So hacker modify existing computer resources without the consent. So in doing, and that will damage your system of your computer network. Okay. So now we have the other type is called the ethical hacker. So ethical hacker are the good guys. They are the engineers, software engineers, IT professionals. So with the permission of owner or network expert, they attack your system behalf of its owner, seeking the weakness, what is the malicious attacker that could exploit, and inform these are the weakness in your system. So hacker think that what they do it like an art. So generally hacker have the opportunity for the showing their strength or problem solving skill and chance to show their abilities. So a lot of ethical hacking competitions are going on. Based on this, when the new devices are comes, they will go there, check it, and show their potential and hack the system and inform it. Okay. So I will conclude my lecture that a good system, it does what it need to define in the specification, work correctly, operate accordingly, fail gracefully. If it will show too many information, so that's why exception handling, which are used for handling the errors, are not good. It does not do more than specified. It does not leak any information. So if the information is leaked, that will also give you the hints of what technology your system is using, and their vulnerabilities are publicly available. So I will conclude my lecture with that no language can prevent insecure code, although there are language features which could hinder or secure process. And the software that we use in our devices should behave in a predictable manner, despite of unexpected input or user action. And mind that there is no patch for careless. We should be updated. Our system should be updated and properly patch will be used. So in this lecture, I think this is also a new area for me. I have explored my knowledge in the particular domain. We have discussed what are the vulnerabilities, what are the various vulnerabilities associated with the charging station. They are using the infrastructure of web services, web domain, then various types of attacks that I found in the some research papers, and show you their demonstration practically. How is it possible? And then what are the hacking, what are ethical hacking, and the hardware hacking, what are the various components which are involved in the hardware hacking. So that's from my side. If you have any query, any question, you may ask. Thank you very much.
So participants, if any queries are there, please go ahead with the queries. I think there is no query. So,
Okay, sir. It's my pleasure, and thank you, Professor Sanjeev sir, for inviting me and giving me opportunity to interact with the others knowledgeable persons.
thank you, sir. Thank you for getting time and accepting our invitation in very short notice. So thanks once again.
Thank you, sir.